have officially entered into End Game Madden 25. This is where all the crazy cards with crazy abilities come out. So if you don't know how to set up your defense right now, you are screwed and you're going to lose a lot of games because we got Avengers everywhere right now. So in today's video, I'm going to break down all the best players, the best abilities to use, and we're going to go position by position to show you how to set up your team and spend your AP on defense. So I want to start in the secondary. We're going to go with outside corners, then slot corners, and then safeties. So let's start with the two best outside corners to use in the game. We're going to look at the golden ticket Plaxico Burress and Mel Blount. The reason why these are the two best corners in the game for your outside corners is they both have good height. A lot of people right now are trying to take advantage of these super tall receivers with double me. If you have good corners with height, that is helpful, but most importantly, they have universal coverage, avalanche, and bottleneck baked on for 0 AP. Universal coverage is going to give you every knockout in the game, but also improve coverage. So that's essentially like if you're a man, one step ahead type ability. Avalanche, you're going to get some fumbles. Now, I know that a lot of people are using Truz, so they're not going to be as many, but this is still worth having because I'll get a fumble here and there with it. It's better having than not. Bottleneck is huge because it allows you to press players into the dirt. If you play man press with bottleneck and universal coverage, it's actually very hard to beat even when you have double me. And you get all this for 0 AP. Now, if you go into their other 0 AP abilities, you're going to want to use Tackle Supreme and Out My Way. These are going to give you the ability to, number one, make sure you tackle all these players with angry runs so they don't break tackles. But most importantly, you're going to get basically wins on, the impact block. So this is helpful with all the dudes that are running a ton of Vanguards right now. Now, it's not going to be helpful, unfortunately, versus O-linemen. It will be helpful versus receivers, running backs, and tight ends. It's definitely a good 0 AP ability. Then, other than that, I would just find Pick Artist, wherever that's at in here for 0 AP, and throw it on. You can, anything past that, it's going to be great. But those are the must-haves on these golden ticket cards. Now, Mel Blount is basically the same card. He's going to get the same baked-on abilities. As you can see, universal coverage, avalanche, and bottleneck. And you still want to throw in these last two spots. Go ahead and throw the Out My Way and Tackle Supreme. And then find Pick Artist and whatever you want for the other 0 AP abilities. Now, for your slot corners, you want to get these guys like the Mean Joe Green. They're not quite as good as the golden ticket guys because you're not going to get the 3 baked-on X factors in addition to other 0 AP abilities. But you can get 2, and you're going to end up wanting to put on universal coverage because that's going to give you the knockouts for man and zone and just improve coverage reactions. So that's very key. And then if you'll go here, you can also put on bottleneck that will give you the dominant man press wins. Other than that, you can throw on the 0 AP abilities for tackling. So like here, we could do the Tackle Supreme. And in addition to that, we could do a Pick Artist. We could even do an Out of My Way. So it's basically very similar to what we had just done. The only difference is, as you can see, the Out of My Way, we don't have Avalanche, which is not the biggest deal. I prefer these guys in my slot because of that. Now, let's look at safeties. Safeties are going to be different because we don't need bottleneck on them. There's no sense of using bottleneck on a safety because they're not going to be, they're never going to be in press coverage. So there's really no point. However, with a lot of these golden tickets, like you guys can see here, you're noticing that they have avalanche, universal coverage, run stopper on this Ruka Roro. However you want to say his name. This is my favorite safety in the game, 6'4", and you get avalanche, universal coverage, and run stuffer. Now, I feel like a lot of people don't even understand run stuffer and why it's so good. So run stuffer is essentially all of the abilities for run stopping, like the Out of My Ways, inside stuffs, all those different abilities combined into one, but it's better because run stuffer doesn't just work on like perimeter guys like receivers and tight ends. No, run stuffer even works on the linemen. So when you can have run stuffer with universal coverage and avalanche on the safety baked on, that is actually insane. Then you can still get the pick artist, the tackle supreme, the enforcer supreme if you want that, in these other 0 AP spots. Remember, you don't need any out of my ways or anything like that because you already have that with the run stuffer. You have all the knockouts and improved coverage with universal, and then you're still getting avalanche for fumbles. And again, I know that avalanche isn't the best thing in the game right now because you do have these dudes with Truz everywhere, but it is still worth having. Now, if you go ahead and look at these other safeties here at the free safety spot, there's some good options here too. So you'll see that you got Darnell and Will Clapp. Personally, I prefer Will Clapp because once again, he's going to give you, he doesn't have run stuffer, unfortunately, but he does have avalanche, universal coverage, and reinforcement. So the run stuffer and reinforcement are pretty similar. I mean, the only difference is that the reinforcement is going to give you also the KOs, which is like not super important because we already have universal coverage here. I think I prefer run stuffer when I already have universal coverage, but it's not the biggest deal because it's essentially very similar as far as the beating blocks component of it. Then we can add on the tackle supreme, the pick artist, or the enforcer supreme over here as well. I tell you guys, the guys who made these golden tickets for the safeties and the corners, they did a really good job. These cards I'm pointing out, they honestly could not get any better. If you're looking to become a better Madden 25 player and win more games, check out sportsgamers.com. This is where I post all my premium content. You get all my offensive and defensive schemes, ebooks, weekly tips, blitzes, money plays, bombs, and more. I have all the best content available at the cheapest prices available anywhere. Sign up today for as little as $9.95. Click the link in the description. I also pinned it in the comments. Let's win more games and dominate together, boys. Now let's talk about coverage linebackers. These would be your actual middle linebackers or outside linebackers that are going to be in coverage a lot or defending the run. We're not talking about edge rushers that were just always blitzing. We'll get into that in a second. But for your actual coverage linebackers, remember, these guys could be middle linebackers, outside linebackers. It really doesn't matter. But I really still like the theme team surge players, such as a DK Metcalf. Remember, these cards still do get 2 X factors, which is really nice. As you guys can see here, in the same spots, you have 2 of these. So you got the Fearmonger, Unstoppable Force, Reinforcement, Zone Hawk, Shutdown, Run Stuffer, Avalanche, Colossus, Dual Threat, etc. So for me, remember, I'm not huge on Avalanche right now as using it as an ability unless it's baked on. If it's baked on, that's great. But people are running the ball like crazy right now. So personally, I'd rather take Run Stuffer because that's going to give me all the shedding against all the different positions. This is a must-have ability for me on my linebackers. I will take this on my linebackers for sure over Avalanche. So that's my first choice is going to be that. So now I want the KOs. And I can either do that with reinforcement or dual threat. Remember, we already got the run blocking, defeating we need with Run Stuffer. So I may as well just use dual threat. Dual threat is going to give me the KOs. It's not going to give me the improved coverage. And what that means in zone would be breaking on the ball. But it also actually will give me chances to defeat pass blocks if I ever blitz this guy, which is nice. So knowing that with my actual other abilities, I'm probably going to want to choose a KO in there and probably a tackling ability too. So like here, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find, whatever KO I really want. I'm probably going to go for an inside linebacker. I would choose mid-zone over anything. You can get lurk artist and pick artist if you want. One of the two. You don't need both, obviously. You can get tackle supreme. But I'm really looking for a mid-zone KO. So that way I can get the better break on ball. Now remember, if you put them in a lot of flat zones, you might actually want a flat zone KO. It would really depend upon what you run. Right here, I can get the mid zone for 0 AP. That's great for me because for these guys, for me, they're going to be in a lot of hook zones over the middle of the field. Now, another card I really like is the Golden Ticket Ronnie Lott. This item is not even that expensive. And to be honest, it's probably because the guy who made this card, he slightly screwed it up, but it's still really good and it's worth using. So the thing with this card is it gives you universal coverage and avalanche. But he did secure tackler here instead of say like run stuffer. Like I don't understand that. It's still a really good card though, because now all we really need is pick artist or lurk artist, which we have here. And then like out of my way. And out of my way is somewhere over here. Yeah. So still a really, really good card. Now, what about your edge rushers? These guys are actually very important, and these are the guys that 9 times out of 10 are rushing the passer. So knowing that, we just really want to focus on stopping the run and beating our block in the pass rush. So right here with these guys, you get 2 choices. And to me, this is just the easiest choice ever. I'm going, first of all, where is it at here? Colossus. And it's 1 AP compared to like dual threat and unstoppable force. It's 0 AP. But hello, everything right now is 0 AP. So if I got to spend 1 AP on my edge rushers, who cares? I have plenty of AP. I've seen people say, oh, why spend 1 AP on Colossus? Because it is better and we don't need the AP. Colossus will split double teams. And I know people will say, well, you know, with post-ups and all the O-line abilities, you know, it's not happening that much. Sure, you're right. It does not happen very often, but it does happen. My Colossuses always have played better than unstoppable forces. And if you're going to argue that, I don't know what to tell you. You're just flat out wrong. So I'll spend the 1 AP on Colossus here, no problem. Now, I'm going to go over here with the other one, and I'm going to take run stuffer because, again, all I'm really focused on here is beating my blocks against the run and the pass. Now, past that, you know, yes, we want to really get a tackling ability such as the tackle supreme. You know, that is cool. I mean, you can even put, if you really wanted to here, other abilities on here. But at this point, it's really like, once you get those 2 with the tackle supreme, I could care less. I have everything I need. Now, for my D tackles, it's pretty much the same idea here. I want to beat blocks against the run and the pass, and then I want a tackling ability. So I'll spend the 1 AP for Colossus, no problem. Then I'm going to spend 0 AP on run stuffer, and then I'm going to find a tackling ability so these running backs, all these angry runs guys, don't just break my tackles 24/7. That is miserable.